Good afternoon and welcome to our open studio. I am your host, Nozipo Phillips. Today we are in a conversation with Manix Sanga, a founder of Cry African Child Foundation. Today he's going to tell us more about what his organization is doing and how we can be involved as a community. Tell us, Manix, who is Manix? Tell us about yourself.
About me, yeah, I'm Manix Sanga and I'm a founder of the organization, the Cry African Child Foundation. Yeah, it's me and my wife that we founded.
And tell us, when did you start this organization and why did you start it?
Yeah, the organization was started last year, and the reason why we started this organization because there is an alarm, and which is a chaos in South Africa and in Africa in general about child abandonment by fathers and teenage pregnancy. So we have to stand up and say, let's do something.
Okay, so when you started the organization, how many people were involved in the organization, and now who are you working with?
Yeah, the organization as the board, we have 5 members as board members, and there is 7 employees of those who are working for the organization. Even though we're still new, but those people are there, like giving their services.
If you say you're still new, how new are you? When did you actually start?
We're talking about from last year until now. We're not even 2 years yet, but we're doing a great job, and yeah, people are ready to serve the people.
You can already see the change, you can already see the life changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Manix, you also, when you were talking, mentioned that you also work with teenage pregnancies. Please tell us more about that. And why did you get involved in especially with the teenagers? How do you?
Teenage pregnancies, it's very hectic in Africa and in South Africa in particular, where you find a lot of teenagers getting pregnant, and after that, they're the one who are gonna suffer with those children, and the men who made them pregnant will walk away from them, and then those women will fall in poverty, and those children will grow up again without fathers. And it's not normal for a man to apply a sexual activity on the teenager, which is a girl. It's not adults to be used on that.
Yeah. And if you think about it, what might be the cause of increasing of the teenage pregnancies in South Africa?
Yeah, there is various causes why. I can just give you some, which is, first, as men, we cannot just blame girls. Girls, they also play a part, but as men, we should man up ourselves and take action, say, no, these are girls. These are not wives. No matter the teenager can want to do something to get a bread, to survive, because sometimes poverty, a girl wants to survive,
yes. Yeah.
But we cannot encourage it. As parents, as men, we have to say, no, this is a teenager, she's just looking for a bread. Let me do something as a citizen of this country, as a citizen of this continent.
Without expecting.
Without expecting.
Yeah,
There's no girl, come here, get this. How can I assist you?
Yes.
I don't want to do that. You know, it's like you help the lady, the girl in her life to stand up where she's down.
To be an example to the little ones, because they are little girls, they go out there, they are hungry, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And starting this organization, Cry of an African Child, the reason why you started it, I just want to get to the bottom of this. Tell me, is it because you went through something similar to what you saw and you didn't want to see this repeating?
You know, a good fighter of crime must be a victim of crime.
Yes. So you were once a victim.
Yes, I was once a victim, and where I went through, there's a lot of men and children are going through the same things, but they can't survive. They couldn't stand from where they were there. But I got a chance. I overcome the situation. So which means I have to fight the situation, because there's many children who are in those kind of situations, and it's affecting for the rest of their lives.
So you stood up, you want to break the cycle.
Yes, because I looked at my case,
Yes.
my childhood, and I also did some research. And as we know, like 60% of South African children are raised without their fathers. 60%. And 10% of South African population are made up with children under the age of 5 years. And in those 10%, that 10%, 61% of those children are receiving social grant. Can you believe from 10%, from 60% of children who are raised without fathers? And we know that children who are raised without fathers, they're more likely to be poor, they're more likely to have a mental disorder, emotional issues, depressed, and they're more likely to end up in jail and to do crimes. So these are, the alarm is going red, and we're still closing our eyes and looking at our president, our ministers, our mothers, but we have something that we have to do.
Yes,
You
each
get
and
it?
every one of us.
I
yes.
said, I must choose an idea which can never die. But I may die, but the idea must never die, which is we have to decrease poverty in Africa through this child abandonment by fathers. But even though there is a taking that I got from journalists to say even women are abandoning children, we're not encouraging, but we're going to the majority, 60% of children living without fathers. So what's going to be the future of this country? Are we going to blame the government? No. We have to do something. That's why I said, no, as a citizen of this continent, I have to stand up and contribute something which will never die. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's very amazing, because we don't realize that we as the community have a role to play.
Absolutely.
Like you're saying, blaming a government is not going to help. But what are we doing as individuals? You get a lot of support from a family.
My family.
From your family, do you get a lot of support in what you're doing?
Yeah, I get a lot of support from my wife, since she's a co-founder of the organization. And my kids are victims, because most of the time when I give my time to this, and my finances, the money I'm supposed to spend on them, I spend on this organization, it's affecting them. So they're also contributing in this project together. Yeah.
And they will end up also being involved, and they see the example that you are to them,
Yes.
contributing to the community.
Absolutely.
We're going to come back. When we come back, we're going to hear more from our guest. Please don't go away.